Right, so this is the first video I've done. Thought I'd just do something quick for a start, so I'm going to do a quick tool review. This is of the Bosch Flex Chuck on FlexiClick, I think it's called. It's sort of like the chuck changing 12 volt, 10.8 volt platform drill that they make. I bought this tool with my own money, like everybody else has to. So this, there's no bias. This is just my opinion. I sort of tell you the things that I do like about it. Tell you the things I don't like about it, and hopefully you can decide whether it's something you want or not. So first thing is probably sort of like what you get with it, I guess. So get a charger. This will be UK spec. It might be different if you're buying this somewhere else in the world, but in the UK spec model you get a couple of the 2 amp hour batteries. These are the pistol type batteries, small pistol type batteries. You get the drill itself, charger, say 2 batteries. You get a L box, which is the sort of toolbox it comes in. These are made by Saltimo, and I think they're sort of done under license to be L boxes for Bosch. So if you've got other tools that are in Saltimo boxes, these all stack. This is the newer model Saltimo box. This is the older one over here. It's a few little subtle differences. I think these actually are an improvement. They're a better box, but so there's that one comes with it. And you'll get the chucks themselves. It comes with 4 chucks as standard. So the kit comes with a standard, normal 3-pin jawed chuck. Got the right angle chuck, and got the normal sort of 1/4 inch hex change, quick change type chuck for driver bits, and if you've got any quick change drill bits like trend snappy stuff or anything like that. And you get an eccentric chuck. Now this is probably the main reason I bought this drill, because there's not a lot of drills in this kind of size range which take an eccentric chuck, and it's really handy if you do a lot of cabinet fitting or sort of like kitchen fitting, that kind of thing. I suppose probably for a start, the reasons that I chose to buy this drill as opposed to another brand, one of the big determining factors is I think most people buy battery tools now on the strength of having a full platform. So there isn't many brands on the market now that have a full range of tools in their smaller battery platforms. So Milwaukee is an exception to that. They do a really big range of tools. I'm just personally not super keen on them. They're not really the things that I'm after. But Bosch's 12 volt range has got some really good handy extra bits in it. So once you've invested in sort of an initial tool and some batteries and a charger, it's quite cheap to buy, or relatively cheap to buy, bare tools to go with it. So that's one of the reasons that I liked it. The other one, as I said, the eccentric chuck. This is fantastic for a lot of cabinet fitting. Most of my kitchens I make with solid backs on them, sort of solid 18mm, 19mm backs on them. And I use the space plugs, which I'll probably do a little video on at some point, because they're great. And I try and always get them top left, top right corner, just because it looks neater. And being able to get this right tight into the corner is a real bonus for these. And the other nice thing about these is these chucks are all, they'll work with each other. So if you want to use the right angle chuck and you also need to get into a corner as well at the same time, you can hook up that right angle to the eccentric chuck, hook that chuck into your actual drill, and you can get into some sort of real tight little spots that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. It's a really short body as well. This distance here is really short, which is another real bonus with it. It's just kind of your standard 2-speed. The torque settings are quite good. Now, I know a lot of people don't really use them, but I use Beech for a lot of my face frames and a lot of my doors, and it's really hard. And with brass screws, if you're just trying to tighten things up, you can find that with brass screws you're inclined to snap them in a really hardwood, something like beech, or something like maybe an American maple you'd probably use, or sycamore. And the torque settings, some of them just are either too low or too high to work, and these seem like quite a nice range of torque settings on it. The other thing I would say is I personally prefer the balance of it when you add the slightly bigger battery packs. It feels a bit top heavy with these little pistol packs in it, but with the bigger packs in it, I think it adds a little bit of weight to the bottom, and it makes it a little bit better balanced drill. It does make it a bit chunkier, but normally it's list measurement that's really mattering to most people. This distance here doesn't tend to make much of a difference, stop you getting in cabinets. If you're something like fitting a little narrow 6-inch wine rack cabinet or something, you can probably just about get in this way. This distance doesn't make a lot of difference. So here's sort of some of the features of it. The things I do like about it, I think the chucks are great. Price wise, it's really competitive. A lot of my tools are Fez tool stuff, and the CXS is a lot more expensive. It doesn't have as many chuck options with it, and it's quite a limited battery platform as well. I mean, I think the CXS and the new TXS and the new CXS use the same batteries, the old one didn't, but once you've bought it, you can't get anything else on the back of that initial purchase, which I always think is a bit of a shame, really. With these, you know, you've got just over to this one, the little jigsaws. It's a great little scribing tool, or you know, if you're sort of scribing into walls for end panels, or you know, maybe sort of scribing face frames up to wonky walls. It's a really good little agile tool, quite small, and it gets into small spaces. It's shorter than most other cordlesses as well, the way the batteries work, especially if you put one of the small ones in. They don't last very long, but they do make it more compact. And that's really the sort of the good points about it. I'm fairly happy. The Saltimo boxes, the L boxes, how good they are probably depends on what else you've got, because you know, if you've got all T-stack sustainers, or if you've got all Mac packs, or if you've got all DeWalt tough boxes or whatever, having everything the same is obviously a benefit. It makes it easier to get everything in, get everything out. I've got sort of a mixture of these L boxes and the T-stack Festool gear, so all my 12 volt stuff fits in these L boxes, and then all my bigger stuff goes in Festool T-stack boxes. But I do quite like the size of these. They're a little bit bigger, you know, actual width wise, and my laser, the tripod, won't fit in a, well, it'll fit in a T-stack Sys5, but you kind of got it at an angle, and it's just a massive waste of space. Whereas I can just about get my laser laid flat in there with a laser and a, you know, laser distance measure and a moisture meter and bits. It makes good use of the space. So whether the boxes are good for you or not probably depends on what else you've got. But there's certainly nothing wrong with them. I think they're just as solid as a sustainer, and probably a little bit bigger as well. That could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what you want to put in it. Two things that I really don't like, it's probably three things really. One is that, considering this is the premium drill that Bosch are offering in this battery platform, I would have expected it to have been brushless. And that's just purely because, you know, they already have a brushless drill in this battery platform, and it's very, very similar. So why you'd make the sort of top model of drill in your range not brushless doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. It's probably a reason, maybe it's a licensing thing or something, I don't know, but seems a bit of an oversight. And saying that, batteries last ages, it's probably not a major thing. That's more of a sort of tool vanity thing probably, rather than a practical consideration. Second thing that really does bug me, no clip on it. You know, there's no belt hook or no sort of like little sort of pocket clip on it, which the brushless standard drill driver does have, and it's really handy. It's good, especially if you're up a ladder and you're fitting something like a, you know, I use this a lot for doing coving or sort of cornice, depending on what you want to call it, crown moulding, I think you call it in America. And like in this format, it's great for if you've not got a lot of gap between the top of the cornice and the ceiling. You can get this in quite tight, get it fitted in, and it's great. But it hasn't got a clip, and you just want to hang it off the back of your trousers, so you just got it there to grab, and that's a real pain. You sort of got to try and wedge it under your arm and then hold stuff up and then move again, which is less than ideal. I have bought the clip that goes on the other models. I'm going to try and modify this to take it, just because I think it would be really handy, really. And I have seen a few people have actually modified the brushless model to take this chuck system, and it looks like it's a dead easy thing to do. You just split the unit down and swap out the chucks, essentially. So again, another thing I can't really understand why they didn't go for that on this model in the first place. It just seems a bit of an oversight, really. Third thing I'm not super keen about it is that sometimes, especially when you're using the jawed chuck, the normal chuck, when you tighten this up, if you undo a bit, it's really easy with this system just to tweak this a little bit, and then when you come out, just as you sort of move, this drops out. And if you've got like a finished panel or something, you're using a little, say you've got a little 3mm bit in there just drilling for some hardware or something, that is really annoying. It's not, I think once you're aware of it, you kind of get used to it. And it has got this little visual marker on the top to tell you that it's there, but you just don't look. You know, when you're in the middle of working, you're busy and you're buzzing away, you're not really looking at it. Work light's quite good, battery indicator's quite good. Overall, I would probably buy it again if I was going to buy, well, I mean, if I was going to buy another small voltage platform drill, I think I'll still go for this. I don't think there's anything on the market that probably beats it. That's partially down to that eccentric chuck. I think the only other company who have that is the Milwaukee. The Festool one doesn't have it. Definitely, I don't think there's any Makitas or DeWalts that really have a similar kind of change in chuck system at the minute. especially, well, not in this size anyway, might be in the bigger ones, but that alone probably makes it worth getting. You know, in the UK, I think I paid about 140, 150 quid for it, something like that. I've had it a fair while, probably had it over a year, maybe 2 years, something like that. And all in all, you know, just quite happy with it. And one of the things I like, when I was looking around for reviews of this initially, every review I ever seem to find on YouTube seems to be of people who've just got it that week. I just don't know how you're supposed to do a review on it when you've only just got it. You know, once you've had it a little while, you've got a chance to work out what you like and what you don't like and what's good and what's not good. But you know, a review from someone who's just got it is as pointless as you can possibly get, really. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. No affiliate links, no crap like that. If you want one, go buy one. If you don't want one, don't. Cheers.